Hi, John with eTrailer. Look, you deserve a great flat towing experience, and today we have the components here that are going to do that for you. We have a 2023 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 Z71, so that's going to be the 4x4 package. We have a motor coach here that has air brakes on it, and we're going to take a look, quick overview of some of the components that's required to get this Chevy to flat tow behind the coach. First things first, we're going to look at the physical connection here. This is going to be our tow bar, and this links up the Chevy with the motor coach here. Second thing you're going to need is going to be a supplemental braking system of some sort. Now, our coach has air brakes, so this is an air brake system. We also have systems for hydraulic or electric brakes. Third thing you need is going to be safety cables. Now, in this instance here, this is a brand new Nighthawk tow bar. It comes with the safety cables, so when you're looking at stuff like that, keep that in mind. Fourth thing you're going to need some sort of diode wiring. This is going to transmit the signals like turn signals, tail lights, and brake lights from the back of your coach to the back of your Chevy. And the fifth thing you're going to need is the base plate. And that's going to be the physical connection that we actually attach to the front of the Chevy that hooks up to the tow bar to make all of this possible. Now, additionally, on these Silverados, to be able to flat tow, you need one more component that not all vehicles need, but this one does, and that's going to be a battery disconnect switch that mounts under the hood by your battery. Now, we installed one on this Chevy, and we do have a video showing the installation on our website. Now, why do you need a diode wiring kit? Well, the simple fact is that if you're towing going down the road, you want to signal your intentions from the rear of your RV, whether you're making a left-hand turn or you're hitting the brakes, or even if you're just running down the highway at night and just the tail lights are on. It's going to make for a safer journey. If you're wondering if you could do it, or if you just want to see what it takes for a shop to install diode wiring, we can show you right now. So today on our Silverado, we're going to be routing our wiring. We have a blanking panel right here. Now, there's a bunch of different models, and your front end may not look like this, but on this location here, this is going to be great for us. We can either get this out with a pick, or you can reach underneath and just pop the plug out. So we're going to end up putting our 6-way plug mounted directly on this bumper. In your kit, you're going to get 27 feet of 4-pole wiring, and this is going to have to run from the front of the vehicle here up into our engine compartment and then all the way to the tail lights in the back. Now, it's probably a pretty good idea to get some nitrile gloves. GM has been coating their frames in wax recently, and it's not toxic, but it gets everywhere. So it looks like grease, it acts like grease, but it's actually wax. So I've used just a 1/4-inch piece of nylon tubing, and I'm using this as a pole wire to go through to about just after the driver's side here. And if you have a coat hanger or something similar, or a pole wire, this helps a lot. Remember, when you're running this, you want to avoid things that are hot, sharp, and moving. So we're going to give this a pull, get this routed underneath here. So I've got the wire just run to the back of the truck, and I'll show you real quick the direction that we took. Up underneath, we just crossed over. We kept this high, and again, avoiding the suspension or anything that's hot, sharp, and moving. We came down, and this is below the driver's seat here. We have an entrance into the frame, and this is where I'd used a fish wire, and we just ran it straight to the back inside the frame. I like to do this, it keeps the wire protected from the elements. We ran out, and we came out just above the bump stop on the rear suspension here. You can see the wire where it came through. Ran that up high against the bed, and we're dropped down right here near the rear exhaust. In order to route the wiring from underneath up to this area, we're going to have to pull the tail light out. That's going to be 2 T15 torque screws. once you get the second one out, you should be able to just slide the tail light towards the back. You're going to have clips on there, and wiggling it will definitely help sometimes on these trucks. Now before we run our wire up to the driver's side tail light, we're going to take the green one and you can strip it off of this. We're going to use this. This is going to be the signal for the right side, the passenger side. So that's going to run underneath the truck anyway. Also with this kit, because these trucks are so long, 27 feet of wire just isn't enough. So more than likely you're going to have to get some extra wire. I've got extra green wire that we had laying around the shop, and I've got an extra white wire here that we had. Now the green wire is going to extend our right side signal if we need it, and more than likely we do on this truck. This white wire is going to bring our trailer marker light signal over to the passenger side as well. Remember, these are signals coming from the RV that we're feeding the truck with, so we need to share the tail light signal to both sides. So that's what I've done here, and we're going to run these right up on the inside. There's lots of room in these trucks. Now up here on top by the tail lights, let's explain the diodes you're going to get. You're going to get 4 of these diodes. They're all the same, and you run 2 per side. And basically what you're looking at, this is going to be the tail light circuit and the stop and turn circuit. Like I said, it doesn't matter what is what. These diodes all do the same thing. It's how you hook them up that makes the difference. So on our tail light here, I've already found our trailer marker light. And then, so we need to find the stop and turn signal. Let me show you what I've done. I've already got the hazard lights on this Silverado here. This uses a combined light for the stop and for the brake light and the turn signal. So we can do this just by turning the hazard lights on. I'll take a test light, and I've already peeled back the insulation, and the green wire here is going to be our signal, but I'll show you. This is going to be audible. So that's how we found the tail light circuit as well. I just put the parking lights on and probe the brown wire, and it beeps. So we know that that's what it is. Now on our diodes, you're going to see 2 inputs and 1 output. The output is always going to go towards the light bulb or towards your tail light. So in this instance on the tail light circuit, that's where that gets hooked up. One of the inputs is going to be from the Chevy. The other input is going to be from the RV. Now in the kit, like I said, all of these were the same except for one of the diodes would have had a yellow connector. This is just so it can accept 2 wires. It's just a little bit made a little bit larger. So this is that wire, the extra white wire that I have that I'm going to run to the passenger side. This is the brown wire. This is our tail marker light signal from the RV. We crimped them together inside of here, and then that's the other connection for the trailer marker light on the driver's side. Now I've turned the hazard lights off, and we'll do the stop and turn signal live here just so you know. Cut this about in the middle. And we'll strip it back on the Chevy side. And we can just take all of these connectors off. So from here out, it's just going to be 1 connector per wire. Give it a tug, make sure it's secure. And then we'll need our stop and turn wire from the RV. That's going to be our yellow one here. I've already got it stripped back. So for hooking up to the diode, same thing. Out always goes towards the tail light. RV in Either one, doesn't matter. Chevy in. Okay, so this really completes the driver's side hookup. Passenger side will be similar. As soon as we run our wires back down across and up on the passenger side. In your kit, you're going to get zip ties. The back of these diodes have double stick tape, so you can clean this whole area up here, get the wires where you want them and secured. Same with the diodes, and put your tail light back on. Now back underneath the truck on the driver's side here, we're going to attach our ground before we run our other signals over. I've got this other wire out of here at the time. So just to keep things simple, this is our full 4-pole wiring coming from the front, and it's the white wire here that we're going to be grounding. I'm going to strip this up, and if you look above your spare tire, we have a 10mm screw here that we're going to use as a grounding point. It's nice and secure. It's going to be above and away from the tire, so corrosion shouldn't be an issue. So I'm going to cut myself off a section of wire here. And don't cut it too short. Leave yourself some room. You can zip tie it up out of the way later, keeping in mind that this spare tire may have to come down, so just keep it away and run it with the rest of the wires here. In your kit, you're going to get a ring terminal, and it's a smaller one here. If we just snip it at the edge, then it's going to work for us up here. The screw up there is just a little bit larger in diameter than this ring terminal. So by snipping it, that's going to allow it to work for us. 10mm socket. Attach our ring terminal. So once we have this connected to the ground, we've got our green wire, which is going to be our passenger side stop and turn, and then this white wire is actually our brown wire coming from the RV. This is the one we tapped up to in the driver's side. So these wires just need to be routed up inside the frame here, and we're going to route these over and do the same thing, fish them up on the passenger side up into the taillight housing. So things to consider here when you're running this across. Your spare tire is going to have to come down, so keep in mind that while you're running it. Again, try to keep these wires out of the way, and use your zip ties that come in your kit. I did extend our green wire just a little bit, just to make my life a little bit easier. It may have made it up there, but it would have been real tight. So we're going to run these up to the taillight housing. So we've got our wires pulled up here on the passenger side, and as you can see, I've already got the truck wires pinned out and cut. They ended up being the same color on the passenger side here as well. So the green is going to be the stop and turn, and this brownish tan is going to be the tail circuit. So we're going to do this the exact same way as the driver's side. This is technically our brown wire, the tail light circuit, and the green is our stop and turn. We'll get these hooked up, secured. And get the tail light reinstalled. Now with the rear of the truck wired up, we can move our way to the front, and we are going to install our plug up here on the right. And so in order to do that, I'm going to need to enlarge this hole. So I'm going to push our wires through. And I've just got a step bit, and we're going to enlarge this so that we can fit this flush with the bumper. So we have this drilled out, and this is going to sit nice and flush in here. So we can get our wire back through. And this is going to have a silicone seal on the back side. And then we're just going to be stripping back the wires and hooking them up to the terminals on the connector. Now on the back side, You're going to have a series of set screws. And the ones we're going to be using is going to be TM. That's going to be trailer marker, what it is. That's your running lights, like your parking lights. You have the ground. We're going to be using that. Next one here will be left turn. It says LT. RT is right turn. The ones we will not be using, S for stop, and then the center is a 12-volt auxiliary. If you do a charge circuit or something else, that's what you would use that for. So starting at the top, trailer marker lights, that's going to be our brown wire. I've already got these stripped back, and the important thing when doing this is to make sure that you get all of the wires inside. You don't have any strays that could possibly reach out and touch one of these other terminals here. And then just tighten down the Phillips set screw on here and repeat it for the other colors. And once you get all your wires hooked up, it's a good time to test it before you permanently mount anything. That way if you have any problems, you can get to it easily. Now we've got a test box here. If you don't have a test box, then you can just always hook up to your motorhome and test your wiring. Now with our test box, we can turn on the tail lights, and you are going to notice that when we have this hooked up for flat tow, that we're only using the top portion of the tail lights. We'll do the left turn, we'll move over to the right turn signal, and then check our brake lights. Now with everything working properly on our Chevy, we can go ahead and mount the 6-way plug up on the front. Now we're just going to mock this up here so we can get the center on it and drill our screw holes. Now before we mount it, we do like to seal this off from the elements. Since it's in the front of the vehicle, this is going to slow down corrosion. These things don't last forever, and we did find that if we cover these up, you get about at least double the life out of them. Of course, it makes it a pain if you ever go in and have to change the wiring, but these things aren't super expensive anyway. But fill it up down there and then fill up the back of this. Now you will have to source your own bolts, of course, if you do go this way with the kit. Today I'm using carriage bolts, stainless steel, and I've got some flat washers, and they're just regular hex nuts on the back. Once you have everything secured up here, use the zip ties in your kit and double check all your work. Make sure everything's nice and secure, and that'll complete our look at some of the features and the installation of Roadmaster's Universal Diode Wiring Kit on our 2023 Chevrolet Silverado 1500.